experience, manifest your truth. And we got to talk about this President Donald Trump's State of the Union speech. And what were your thoughts about it? And where do you stand with this whole President Trump scenario? Um, he broke the record for the longest speech at 1 hour and 46 minutes, beating out Bill Clinton, ex-President Bill Clinton. I think President Trump can talk, loves to talk about himself. Uh, and I think he's an egomaniac, narcissist, the whole nine. And I think that President Bill Clinton would run a close second behind him. So you got Republican President Trump, narcissist, and of course, ex-President Bill Clinton, definitely a narcissist, but a very brilliant man. Bill Clinton, way smarter than Donald Trump. But I think Trump stood up and did what he had to do. And he was being Trumpian the entire time, talking about himself. And for those that don't like him, there were several millions and millions of people that voted for him that wanted him as the president. I'm an independent. I didn't vote for Trump or Kamala Harris. I didn't think Kamala Harris was ready. Too much word salad, and she didn't do it. The Biden-Kamala Harris administration was a debacle. I think the border issue is a real issue, was a real issue, and is a real issue. There's been alleged rumors that Kamala Harris, the vice president, was the border czar and had never been to Texas. And there were millions and millions of folks that came into this country, 15, 20 million unvetted, undocumented. And in order to change that scenario, as egregious as the opening was, you have to be somewhat that same level on closing them. This ICE situation, I don't necessarily agree with the way they're handling it. If you follow my Trevor Donald Experience YouTube channel, I talked about that, how he was supposed to go after the hardest criminals, and it doesn't seem like he did that. He's just looking at deep deportation opportunities by any means necessary. Oh yes, everything's going good. But you have to remember, when you talk about identity politics, especially for Black Democrats, most Black folks have voted based on what their grandparents, their parents voted, how they voted, and they don't pay attention to the legislation and how people are legislating laws, and are those laws protecting us. We don't read in today's time. We vote based on familiarity and identity politics. And that's unfortunate. Because if you look at the last 30 years or 40 years in history, the number one president that deported 3 million people, the most people during his tenure, was President Barack Obama. And that's ironic, being that there's issues on whether he was born in the U.S. We know he went to private, $45,000 a year, private school in Hawaii. We know that his mother was white from Kansas, and his dad was an African gentleman from Africa. So if anybody should be for immigration, it should have been Barack Obama. So I think it's somewhat hypocritical that he deported over 3 million people during his tenure. If you're a Democrat, you got to look at the 1994 crime bill and who were the two leading politicians behind the 1994 crime bill. It was President Bill Clinton and Joe Biden, Senator Joe Biden at the time. And remember, Joe Biden was against desegregation for high schools, integrating high schools and making a melting pot. He was against that. So we have to look at how these folks are legislating. There's a white male patriarchal system that's in place, and many people don't like Trump, and they think Trump is racist. And if he is, I'd rather deal with somebody as a man of color, deal with somebody that lets me know he doesn't like me up front, than to pretend to like me and stab me in the back. I'd rather walk into a room and know what's going on than get surprised like a mafia hit. But of course, Trump is being Trump. People are all surprised about how Trump has been a narcissist and about himself forever, since the 80s. So this should be no surprise. What worries me more is the people that believe in him and follow him no matter what. You know, everything's great. Everything's the first of all time. Everything is history breaking for Trump. But he's been using these word salad terms and phrases for a long time. This should not surprise anyone. Shouldn't be mad at Trump. You should be mad at the people that voted for Trump. That's where the danger lies. If you are an anti-Trumpian, and this is the first time in my existence where you're seeing individuals who are so heated about politics today that they lose friendships and relationships with people. It is amazing how Donald Trump has galvanized and centralized this high emotional energy, and you interplay race, politics, religion, I've never seen it before. I thought the most controversial president or someone becoming president was Barack Obama being a black president, but Donald Trump has outdone them all. And black males can relate to Trump. Trump is going antithetical against the system. He's bucking the system. You know how many black males have been to court and gotten charged for things they didn't do and wanted to speak their voices and could not or did not based on the conditions and the terms that judge had their lives in their hands. So many black folk, and he got charged with 27 felonies. I mean, think about how many black males can relate to that. And he's giving his finger to the system. Trump is like the father of Tupac Shakur. Donald Trump is the white Tupac Shakur, thumbing his nose at the system and exposing all the secrets. That's what everybody's upset about. And remember, you have these other chambers in politics: the Senate, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. Trump, this is not a dictatorship where Trump has control over everyone. The Supreme Court is supposed to be an independent legal entity to be there at the defense of our civil liberties and our civil rights. So is Trump brainwashing everybody in the entire world? I mean, how can you give one man that much power? There's a lot of buffoonery. There's a lot of placating and acting that's going on, even in the State of the Union speech, where the Democrats didn't show up and protested or didn't stand up that were there. And of course, he's going to talk about everything. He's breaking records all the time. It's word salad. He's the white male version of Kamala Harris to a certain degree. Where is the meat and potatoes of what he's saying? I didn't vote for either one of them. But I think we should remain conscious and aware, and we should read the laws that they are legislating. The power is not in the voice or the mouth. The power is in the pen, the secrecy of the pen, and how these executive orders and this legislation is being passed that could infringe on our civil liberties, our amendments, our rights to the Constitution. So we need to pay attention. And the one thing I do like about Trump is with his verbiage, he's putting a lot of eyeballs right there on that television, on the social media outlets to see what's going on. We need to be more conscious and aware of what is happening around us and how this world is going to be affected in the next 10 years, which will affect us. And that's why I do this channel. We need to raise our level of consciousness. We need to manifest our truth in a positive way. If you see demonic humans and demonic systems in place, then you need to go the other way or try to do everything under God's power to change it. Well, we're stuck with Trump. He's here. That was his State of the Union speech. I don't know what anybody learned or gathered from it, but we need to stay aware and keep our head on the swivel. And this has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.